What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on, people? How we doing? How we doing? How are we doing? I am trying. Hold on one second. Forgot to turn that on. And that. There we go. There we go. Anyway, so my new digs. If you've been following me, you know I told you the next time you see me, a lot's gonna be changed, right? A lot has changed, as you can see. Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's all good. I have been basically booted to the far corner of the basement. I mean, I'm talking, when I say far corner, I mean the far corner of the basement. And I had to give up my little studio room and my backdrop. And so, you know, I don't know how long this is going to be here. This is going to be temporary. I had to see. I'm just, like I said, I'm just getting used to everything. I just put all of this stuff, literally brought all of this here stuff from over there all the way over here, and had to redo this. Literally redid everything on the day. I'm shocked this is even. I'm shocked this is even working, because I haven't taken this stuff apart in I don't know how long, and half of the stuff I didn't even know where to plug up to what. Because it got so many wires going somewhere everywhere. And then my camera didn't work. I couldn't get my camera to work when I first hooked all this stuff up. So I was fighting with that. And then my Roku, my board here, this thing just gave me bats crazy. I had to download some stuff for this thing that I didn't realize that I ever really had to do, but I have to do it now. But anyway, it's been a mess. No, seriously, it's been a mess. It's been in a mess. But we're here. We're here. Look at us. We're here. I made it. I didn't think I was going to, but I started on yesterday moving all this here stuff, getting everything over here, and it wouldn't work. I'm testing this, testing that. This wouldn't work. But here I am. How we doing, people? I hope everybody has had an awesome time. It's Wednesday. Yes, it is. It's Wednesday all day. Realizing, recognizing that. So, let's talk about a couple things tonight. Why don't we? Because I had an awesome day. Tell you about my day and the opportunity. One of the things that I am so blessed to be able to do, and that is to go and actually go into rooms where you wouldn't expect, and I wouldn't expect, people will want somebody like me in there sitting down talking to them. But I've been blessed to go from, I've been all the way down to Marshall, Minnesota. I've been to Red Wing. Not Red Wing, but Rochester. I've been there. I've been all the way out to West Minnesota. I didn't go to Bemidji. Yes, I did. I was in Bemidji a few years ago speaking at the gun caucus thing. So I've been up there. So I've been in a lot of places. You know, I've been all the way out to St. Michael. I've been all the way out to Buffalo. Speaking. I've been all the way out to Woodbury, speaking out in Woodbury. So I've been blessed enough to be able to go into some of these rooms and literally have a conversation with people that probably would never have a conversation with me. Probably people that I would never have the opportunity to actually sit down and have a one-on-one with these people. I had that opportunity earlier today. Speaking at a place that a bunch of women was there, and it was funny to me because, like I said, I'm a preacher, and when people hear that, they now they put me up here. Oh yeah, Chad. Yeah, Chad. Thanks. Yeah, I've been out to. I did go to Red Wing. That's what I was trying to think, Chad. That was Red Wing. That you guys, when I met you at that you guys at the golf course. Michael Holmes, blessings to you too, my brother. Thank you very much for that. I definitely appreciate that. But okay, yeah, and I've been out to Red Wing, so I've had the opportunity to go places and be in rooms that nobody would ever think that I would be in, and nobody would ever think that, and I would ever think that these people want me to come in. I'm like, what do you want me to talk to you about? Because this is one thing that I've learned, that if you talk to people, you have to tell them what they want to hear. No, I'm being dead serious. You got to tell them what you want to hear, what they want to hear. And if you tell them what you want to hear, you can stick around for a long time. But the second you start speaking your mind and you give them facts and you tell the truth, see ya. That's not what people, no, that's not what people want. And that's why I say, if you come here and I say something, and I've always said this, and I'll say it again to anybody, if I ever say something that you disagree with, or you think that I'm not being truthful to you, give me your address. Give me your email address. I will send you this link, and I will give you a whole hour to tell me why I'm wrong in what I'm saying. Well, y'all see how many people usually take me up on that. Because people don't want to have that conversation. No, honestly, people, they say they do. I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to show you in a second exactly what I'm talking about. And that's what I do, right? 99.9% of the time when I am talking to you, I only talk about, if you never notice, people sit there and go, well, Rev don't talk about a lot. I talk about things that I for sure know. For sure. If I don't know it, if I have not researched it, if I have not looked into it, you don't hear me say a word about it. You don't hear me say one word about it. But if I've looked into something, I've researched it, I'm going to run off at the mouth. I've got a little bit to say about something like that. But so I'm in this place. There's about 23, 24 people there. None of them look like me. Okay, so let me put that out there right now for you. But I've been blessed that somebody off of here say, "Hey, Rev, I've got they have a book club, not really a book club, but something they get together and they discuss stuff." And said, well, they were having a discussion, and the discussion was basically on Minneapolis, black people in Minneapolis, the people of color in Minneapolis, and things of that sort. So he's like, well, why don't you come in and talk to us? Because a lot of people are saying blah, 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 and you would know. No problem. Would love to do that. Go in, talk about. We talk more about me being a preacher and my gun almost than anything, because that blew them out the water. Because they looked at me, like I said, a lot of times when I meet people and people go, what do you do? I'm a reverend. Okay. Then the minute, like this room, the minute we start talking about firearms, because I don't know how, come to think about it, I don't know how we got on firearms, but somehow, some way we did. And I let them know that I was carrying a firearm. I didn't have to, but because they was talking about firearms, they was saying certain things about firearms. They was, this happened. We need to do this with firearms. We can't have them, and nobody should. So I had to basically go, okay, Y'all talking like that now. Let me say this. I am a reverend. I too was like you. There was a time that I believe that we should regulate certain people in having firearms. That there was a time I believed that. There was a time I believed that the guns were the problems on the street. There was a time I believed that. There was a time I fought tooth and nail against the guns that are on the street. I did. I would not carry a firearm. I would not have a firearm in my home. I did not, at the time, I would not teach my boys. I told my boys, just like everything that the church said about firearms, about black people and firearms. I did all of that. All of it. I went through that whole level of, oh my God, no, I don't want to deal with firearms. They're bad. These firearms that are just killing everybody. I was one of those people. Until one night, right there on Bryant, right there in North Minneapolis on Bryant. I tell this story all the time. I get this mother that calls me. It is it was 1:30. She calls me up and she goes, I can't find my daughter. Her name. I don't need to say that, but I can't find my daughter. But I got a feeling I know where she's at because her friends was probably telling me. Okay, no problem. Boom, jump in the car, cruise down to North Minneapolis, meet the mom. She goes, I got a feeling she's on Bryant. She's at the drug house on Bryant. I said, okay. Well, let's go over there and let's see if she's there. And if she's there, we'll see if we can get her out. Like, true story. So we go to this house, bang on the door. Dude looks out, is looking out the side. They had a side window. Dude is looking out the side window. And I'm standing there and I'm looking, he's looking at me, I'm looking at him. He's looking at me like, what do you want? I go, can you open it? I'm like, open the door. I need to talk to you. Open the door. So the dude opens the door a little bit. And I explained to him what I was doing there. And he goes, I don't know if she's here. I said, well, do you mind if I come in and look around? And if she's there, can I get her and bring her out? Whatever, man. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Blah, 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 this, blah, blah, that. Dude opens the door. I go walking in the house. As I'm walking into the front room, I stop, I turn around. Between the ages of 15 and probably 25, was standing behind me with a firearm in their hand. And I'm standing there like, what did I just get myself into? Now, I knew, the drug dealers and the drug guys had guns, but I'm sitting there, when I dealt with them before, it was on the streets. I did not see the guns when I dealt with them before on the streets, right? But I'm standing there. All these guys got guns, big guns. And I'm like, dude, look, I just need to get this lady's little girl and go. Coming down the stairs was one of the kids that was in my Sunday school class. And he looks at me and I look at him. He goes, dude, oh, this is Rev, man. This is Rev. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. This is Rev. And I looked at him and I said, my heart is hurting, man. I can't believe you in here. He goes, what are you doing, Rev? And I explained to him what I was doing there. He goes, yeah, man, you know what? Rev, I probably saw it. Yeah, go back to the kitchen. Go back towards the kitchen. I go back towards the kitchen. There she is. Grab her, get her, ready to go outside. So as we were walking out, These dudes are parting the ways to let me get out of here with her. The minute I got outside, I vowed that day, I will never walk the streets of Minneapolis without a firearm. That day changed my life, changed my mindset, and changed my thought when it comes to firearms. Because if they can have them, there's no reason why I can't have a firearm. If I'm going into these places like that, then I'm not going in there and I don't have what they have. That's unfair to myself. Period. And I know people have told me over the years, but you got God on your side. Well, God gave me the opportunity to be able to buy this. If he didn't want me to have it, then he wouldn't have put enough money in my pocket for me to buy it. Period, point blank. I don't care what you say anymore. I don't care what people say anymore when it comes talking about firearms. Get out my face. Leave me the hell. I ain't bothering you, because more than likely my firearm that I have is not for you. You understand what I just said? It ain't got nothing to do. As long as we cool, you ain't got to worry about my firearm. My firearm is for when I have mothers call me and then I'm walking in drug houses. I'm not walking in there barehanded. I'm not walking in there without nothing in my hand or on my sleeve or on my ankle or on my back. That ain't happening. That will never happen again. I left there. The very next morning, I started making phone calls. Where do I go get trained? What do I have to do to get trained? Who do I need to talk to about being trained? And before I bought a firearm, I got all the training there was to get trained. Matter of fact, this was back when Black Guns Matter. When what's his name from Black Guns Matter, that I met him, talked to him about gun training and all this here. That's how I met Louis Denard. Louis Denard ran the African American Heritage Gun Club. Some of y'all may remember him. Some of you may not. That's how I met Louis Denard. Getting involved with him. And then that's how I met the guys from the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus. That's how all of this stuff ties in. And by meeting the guys from the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, boom, they put me on. And then I went up and testified at the Capitol. Remember that? And that video went viral. That's how I got here. Those are the steps. Those are the very steps how I got in front of you today. If it was not for that, had I not walked into that house, had I not went and bought a firearm, had I not went to go get training, had I not went to started really honestly getting into firearms, really honestly understanding firearms, going out shooting IDPA, going out training for scenarios, I probably wouldn't be here, because I got here because of a firearm. I'm in front of you right now because of a firearm. That's the truth. So today, I'm talking to these ladies, and we're going over the same thing. And ladies looking at me like, what do you need a firearm for? And I was like, because they got one. And she's like, who is they? I was like, criminals. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding when I say this. Room went silent. They just sat there and looked at me. There was nothing else to be said. Zero. Nothing else to be said about that. I thought. So we go over this whole thing about these guns are killing these kids. What do you think, Rev? What do you think about that? And I explained to them that I don't, I try to make them understand things from this here point of view. We're at a time, just like I told them, we're at a time where things are going crazy for cuckoo. And they are. They are. And we just have some people out there that just don't have it. That needs to be put in a place to get help. But see, here's another problem that I see that we have as Americans and even as humans, is we're not willing to actually look at this thing and say what it is. The Bible tells us. That's what I told him today. So the Bible tells us that when Jesus went to the other side, what did he run into? He ran into a man that had lost his mind. They put this man in chains. He was running around in a cemetery. He was going bananas. See, today, we would say that man needs to be put in an asylum. Instead of looking at him and saying, this man has an evil spirit. Because that's what Jesus said. And when Jesus called the spirit out of him, the spirit said, what should you do with us? We've got people with evil spirits. Because when you can look at a human being, when you can look at someone who is like you, whether they're black or white, doesn't matter, and you can take that life, that ain't about just being nuts up here. That's a whole body experience. That's heart, mind, spirit, and soul that is evil. What else is there? But we like to say that they need to be put in a hospital or they need to be institutionalized. That's what we like to say. Because it's easy for our cardinal minds to understand that versus to understand that God said there are evil people and evil spirits that is running around on this here earth. And I said, if I'm going to be dealing with evil, should I not have the right to deal with evil the way evil wants to deal with me? If evil have a gun, why can't I have one? What am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to bow down to someone who is evil because they got a gun in their hand and I'm supposed to just walk around with nothing going, I hope that evil person with that gun in their hand, I hope they don't shoot me. Is that what I'm supposed to do? No. I believe my Lord and Savior. I know people, but what about Jesus? What about your Lord and Savior? Isn't he supposed to save you? Yeah, but he also told me not to be stupid. He also told me not to be stupid. Be wise. I'm wise enough to sit here and say now, like I said, back in the day, I'll be honest, like I said, I was one of those people who sat there and says, there's no reason for there should be guns. There's no, when I lived out in the country, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. So when I lived out in the country, I mean, we could shoot 22s all day. You shoot rabbits and all this here, no big deal. I never thought about shooting and killing people. It just never dawned on me to want to shoot and kill somebody. But we have people today that have no problem going, this is my corner. This is where I make my money. And if you want it, we have to battle for it. And these days, there's no more pulling out knives. There's no more fisticuffs with somebody in the park. I got to shoot you. I have to kill you to keep my corner. These are 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old boys. I got to kill you. And I explained to them. So they were like, well, you know, the kids that got shot at the school and we got all of this here going on and we've got to make a change. And this year during the election, there's going to be a serious change and all of this here type of stuff they were talking about. And I said, you got ugly people in the world. You do. But we've got to find a better way other than taking things from I said, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I ain't never been to jail. I have in my life, I'm 60 plus. In my life, not that I don't speed because I do, I'm just lucky enough not to get caught. I've got 3 speeding tickets. I started driving when I was 14. I've got maybe 1 or 2 parking tickets, no other moving violations. We can't punish me because you're frightened of an evil person. So I told them all, go get a gun. Go get a gun. This is after they told me they was afraid of guns. I told them, go get a gun. But I just enjoyed being there today. I enjoyed being there talking to these women. And it was an awesome conversation because they had an opportunity to say what they wanted to say. They gave me the opportunity to say what I wanted to say. And we've all left there with different understanding of each other and open minds, right? So there's been all of this here fuss, right? Let's rip it up. There's been all of this here fuss that's been going around online, and I've been checking it out all day today of these here people who went to a black college, right? So they go down to this black college and they go down and talk about, we want to have a conversation. No, you use a damn lie. That's a lie, flat out. You don't want to have the conversation. And I'm going to show you, just like I said, here in a minute, of why I tell you you don't really want to have this conversation. You want to act like you want to have a conversation so you can throw up the normal right-wing talking points. And the dude did it today. When I was having a conversation over Facebook with this dude, and sure enough, the conversation had nothing to do with black men and babies or black fathers not. But he just had to put that in. It was killing him. It kills white folks. Yeah, I'm going there today. I've got a brush that's so broad today, it's not funny. And I'm going to tell you why I got a broad brush today. Because every time I turn around here lately, the same brush you tell me I shouldn't have, you decide to use that same brush. Yeah, you do. Just like with this crap with these boneheads going to college. Correct? Watch this. Now, what I want you to do, so we can all be on the same page, if you can with your computer and listen to me at the same time and your phone, but I want you to type in, and I don't care how you type it in, but I want you to type into your computer or your phone who benefits the most from DEI. I want you to type in DEI benefit what race the most. I want you to put in DEI benefit what gender the most. That's what I want you to do for me. Excuse me. Let me get some water while y'all busy doing that, because I know y'all want to do this research. And every time you pull that up, no matter how you put it, no matter how you spell it, Even if you decide, well, I don't want to put it the way Rev want me to put it because I want a different outlook, I'm going to put black women. Even if you put black women, because I did it. Hold on. I did it. I tried every way to get my computer and my research to say black women benefited from DEI the most. I did. It never came up that way. You know who they say benefit from DEI the most? White women. And I'm talking about a lot. Some of the scales that I saw, 64% to 15%. DEI. But Turning Point have got all their people believing. Your president and vice president got all his people believing that it's black women. And that's just a bold-faced lie, and y'all know it. So when these little white boys decided to go to a black college to talk about DEI, I sat there today and I saw this, and I'm like, why are you going to a black college talking about DEI? That doesn't make sense to me, because that's what he's been taught. That's what y'all have been taught. And you've been taught this because they know you're not going to research it. They know that. They know that. They know it. They know you're not going to research it. They know you're not going to look into it. And they know you're not going to ask questions. Why? Because they're telling you what you want to hear. See, I went there today. I didn't tell them women nothing they wanted to hear. Nothing that they wanted to hear. I was supposed to go in that room, and I was supposed to, and especially when it came to the how black men are with their sons and things. I was supposed to go in there, and I was supposed to follow the status quo and saying exactly what they've heard on their radio, exactly what they heard on their TV and everything. But when I broke it down to them, and I showed them how, black men, they may not be in the home, but I sat in a room with 72 black men that totally involved with their kids and in their kids' life. But they tell you this. I had, so how long I got? Oh, shoot, man. I got a lot of stuff I wanted to cover tonight, but I'm not going over my time. Not going to happen. But I'm going to show you something, and this is what I'm talking about. Okay. So today, I hadn't been listening to Garage Logic and Joe Shushare because I just been busy. I usually try to catch this show all the time because I do. I like the show. But on today, Garage Logic and Joe Shushare had this to say. And this is about Robin Wansley. The mayor has commented on council member Robin Wansley title view on the recent Minneapolis Turning Point gathering. So I listened to the show today. And then he said, this is a question that he asked. He said, how do you get to the point where the presence of Turning Point represent a danger? I'm glad he asked that question. How Robin said that having that event in Minneapolis, she feels represent a danger. Let me show you something. Okay, so I've been going back and forth with this one dude who said that, you know, and I put, and this is what I said. I said many believe that the Turning Point represent white nationalists, and that's what she's saying is danger. So, sure enough, I got a bunch of people going after me, or not going after me, talking about having a conversation. And this dude says, what did he say about the conversation? He goes, well, we should have the conversation. I said, okay. That's all I needed to hear. Somebody actually wanted to have a conversation. So Robin was talking about a large part of what we have going on in the city now. When George Floyd happened, right? I show you the pictures. I'll show you the pictures. I'll show you the whole nine. I was one of the people who grabbed my firearm. Check me out. That ugly AR, that I got, that they were happy to see. That here's the funny part about this, right? So they swear up and down that I should not have a firearm. But all of a sudden, I show up on Broadway during the riots and people coming downtown, bursting, doing this. I show up with an AR-15, and I'm like the hero of the community. Now when I'm saving your ass, I could have a gun. Not only can I have a gun, but I can have one of the worst guns that you hate in all civilization, right? I can have this gun now. But anyway, when George Floyd happened and we was walking the street, we was basically walking the streets shooing little white kids out of the city. That's what we was doing. That I can tell you that with my own eyes, because I was right there doing it. So when she talks about that, that's what she talks about. She talks about that. She talks about white people coming to the city buying drugs, because they do. In droves, a lot of people. See, Joe Shushare can't tell you about that because Joe is not on the streets. Joe ain't on the streets. He's not on the streets. So when she's talking about danger, that's what she's talking about. When she's talking about danger, she's talking about danger in a way of saying, watch this again. I hope I ask you to do something. I ask you to look up who benefits from DEI the most. Who does? It's white women, correct? If I'm wrong, hit me up. Say, Rev, you're wrong. I need to talk to you. I'll put you on here right now. But you show me somewhere where it does not say white women benefited from DEI. Show me. You can't, because I'm right in what I'm about to say. Dude, I did so much research on this. I looked in every corner there was to try to make it show me where what Charlie said was true. The way Charlie painted it, black women were the ones, DEI was about them. And that's not true. Joe Shushare and Garage Logic will not tell you the truth, because they've got to tell you what you want to hear. And what you want to hear is black women, black people, black this and black that. That's what you want to hear. You can sit there if you want. He said white women, white men also. DEI. Oh, that's my kid right there. Oh, my goodness. Are you back? You're supposed to be in Vegas. I don't even know what he's on here. My son and his wife, 2-year anniversary. Anyway. But that's my kid right there. But show me. So when Robin says a danger is a lie. Because black men have gotten in so much trouble over a lie. I have been involved in 3 black men who, he's taking a break in the sun. I've been involved with getting 3 black men out of prison who have been in prison 20 plus years on a lie. And I'm working on my fourth, his name is Philip Vance. He's in prison in Rush City. He's going on 21 years in prison right now on a lie. I'm gonna show you how deep the lie goes. This is no joke. The arresting officer, no, seriously, the arresting officer, they used the arresting officer's sister's testimony, who said one night in a bar, she heard Philip confess to the murder of this person. Listen, y'all think I'm joking. I'm not. Look up Philip Vance. I'm working right now. He'll be my fourth, number 4, that I've worked on getting this man out of prison. But that was one of the lies they told on Philip to put him in prison for almost 21 years. He's been sitting in prison. It's all been a lie. So what I'm saying to you is this here. When you tell a lie, you can keep lying. So when Turning Point, when the guy and I saw the clip, when the guy at the Turning Point starts saying black women DEI, and when Joe Chusere and Rookie and Reavers and all don't correct that lie, they are dangerous. They're just as dangerous as Turning Point. That's a lie. But they can't correct that lie because that's what their base wants to hear. And I can show you that's what their base want to hear. Watch this. No, seriously. I'm going to show you what this guy said to me. He said it loud and clear. So I said to him, I asked him a question. I said, he said the stats that Kirk puts out. No, he said the stat, because I told him about the stats that they have on the DEI and white women. This is what he said. He said the stats that they put out can be manipulated. I said, okay. I said, so the stats that Kurt put out about black men and the 13%, you believe that, right? He says, yes, I believe that because I experienced it and it's fact. So watch this. This is, no, hold on. This is a Garage Logic follower. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, I will believe what Kirk says about black people and the 13%. But this data that shows me that white women are the top beneficiaries of DEI, I'm not going to believe that. Those numbers are screwed. That's what he said. This is what I'm talking about. And these are the very people who sit here and say, let's have a conversation. You can't have a conversation with these people because these people believe what they want to believe. And if you don't tell them exactly what they want to believe, they ain't coming back to listen to you. Joe knows that. Joe cannot correct this. He can't because his people will not believe him. He can't. Garage Logic, they cannot correct this. They can't sit here tomorrow and go, you know what? I heard Rev on his show talking about we looked into it and we can't find anywhere where black women lead in DEI. So we have to correct the lie that Turning Point and what's his face was spreading about black women. They spread it about Ketanji Brown Jackson. They spread it about Michelle Obama. They spread it about Joy Reid. We can't now tell you that that's a lie. So when Robin is sitting there talking about danger, That's what she's talking about. The lies that you're putting out there for your people, for the very people that half the people that came down to the U ain't got nothing to do with Minneapolis. Nothing. They're all from all the red area you see in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. That's where they're all from. They ain't from Minneapolis. They ain't from St. Paul. They're from what they call rocks and cows. That's what they're from. And they all came down to Minneapolis. I think that was a mistake. Because a lot of people got upset. And then they sit there and go, today, and here's what cracks me up. I'll find out Sunday. I'll find out Sunday because I've got a couple churches I'm gonna be going to, and I want to see what the churches have to say about that little rally they had there. So we'll find out if Robin is right about what she said about her area. The people are upset because a lot of people were saying they see that no different than when ICE came here. Now, how upset these people got when ICE was in town? They lost their mind. So this is what I'm saying. Y'all turn these radio shows on, and most of these people who talk about things ain't never experienced it, ain't been around it, can't tell you a damn thing. But yet, that's what y'all run to listen to. Those people, because that's what you want to hear. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me. Go ahead. Somebody right now. Somebody on it. Hold on. Let me click over here because I want to make sure that if someone wants to tell me I'm wrong in what I just said, I want to make sure I got them. I want to make sure that you get heard. I want to see if anything that I just said tonight. I want someone to come on here and tell me I'm wrong. You know I'm not. I just proved it to you. Like I said, I don't talk about nothing. If I cannot prove what I have to say, you ain't hearing it from me because I know how Twitter works. I know how the internet works. I've gotten really, really good at this. I have. Just like my trolls. You don't see nobody trolling me much anymore, do you? I told y'all, the more they troll me, the better I get. And when I get real good, they don't mess with me no more. I'll cut you from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. I ain't got time for you. I don't play like that no more. You ain't people, but you got to turn the other cheek. I don't have cheeks. No, I do have cheeks. I do. And you can pucker your lips up for them. But these, I ain't turning a damn thing. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. And these are the things that I'm saying. And then, see, they control the airwaves. They control the airwaves. They can lie to you, but they ain't got nobody. They ain't got there's nobody to push back with them. They make sure of that because people was asking me, and what I was going to tell you. People was asking me a month ago. I was talking to some people and they go, "Wow, Rev, we haven't heard you on blah blah." That's because I keep telling y'all. See, when I first came out, people thought I spoke that bull language like Candace Owens. People thought, "Oh my goodness, this is because I was a reverend. I carried a firearm, and I spoke about the black community doing what's right." See, here's my thing. And I show you the picture. I have no problem in showing the picture. When I met Candace Owens face to face, right down there in Minneapolis, I got the picture to show you. I handed Candace my card. And I said to Candace, just like I say to all of the people who decide that they're going to dog the black community. If you're going to dog us and you're going to make money off of us, at least what you can do is help in any way you can. Candace told me she was going to call me and she was going to get back with me and she was going to come back to Minneapolis and walk the streets and talk. I ain't never heard from Candace. I'll show you the picture of me standing right in front of Candace, handing her my card, saying to her, if you're going to dog the black community and these white people in this room, because we was downtown, I was in a room full of white people, I'm talking packed, just to see her. And they going to pay you, Candace? At least what you can do is give some money back to the community. You can say whatever you want about the community. I don't care what you say. Are you going to help the community? Are you going to help those in the community? Well, Rev, you be talking. Yeah. Because I'm walking in the drug houses, getting people out. I'm the one that's down on the street corner talking to these kids. I'm the one that's hiding women who gotten beat by their husband out in Plymouth at hotels until their families can come get them. I'm busting my. I got a right to say whatever I want to. But we got these so-called black folks here. Well, they call themselves black. I don't call them black. Who think that they got a right to go on radio and talk about the black community, and they ain't never done nothing for the black community. Ain't never been in it. Black community, hell, one of them, the black community don't even like. They wouldn't even vote for him. That's my thing. If you want to dog the black community, and the only thing you want to talk about is black men are not fathers to their kids. I got 2 boys. I've been married for 37 years. I've been in my kids' life all their life. I got one of my best friends here in Minnesota, black man. He been married for 20-some years, been in his kids. Almost every black man that I know. Now, again, I go down to the detention center and I speak to some of the kids that are down there. And lo and behold, there are white kids in that detention center. It's funny how we never talk about that. It's funny how we never talk about the drug use in the white community, how bad that is. It's really bad. Where's my wife's sister son died, lived in Elk River of a drug overdose. So when people try to tell me about things, see, I'm the wrong person that y'all can try to pull this stuff on. I can see if I just sat behind this here computer and I did nothing, or if I was in a studio and I did nothing, I can see that. But you can't fool me. Because I'm out dealing with people, I'm out talking to people, I'm out seeing things, I'm out asking questions, I'm out doing the research. So when I come to you, just like Glencoe, Minnesota, people don't talk about, you don't hear nobody talking about Glencoe, Minnesota, do you? How poor the people out there are, the farmers and everything out there. You don't hear about that, do you? No, you don't. Now, how I know? Because my wife and I went out to Glencoe, Minnesota. My wife and I actually gave money to the teachers out there so they didn't have to use their money to buy all of this here, to buy all of this school supplies. The teachers in Glencoe, Minnesota, were buying school supply with their own money. We went out there and handed them a check. And while we was out there, we learned how poor some of the kids are, white kids. And you know what I did? I came on here and I raised money for those kids. And we took that money out there. And we got shoes, we got pants, we got jeans, we got shirts, we got coats. So we don't ever talk about that stuff, right? But, oh my God, we need to talk about the black abortion. We need to talk about the 13% of black men. But we don't talk about the reason why they really passed all these gun laws here in the state of Minnesota, right? Those gun laws wouldn't pass for black kids that are shooting each other on the streets of Minneapolis. Those gun laws was passed because these white moms were getting tired of their kids committing suicide. Here we go. Oh, no. Like I said, I don't talk about nothing that I ain't looked up myself. Pull up the suicide rate here in Minnesota for white kids. Pull it up. No, pull it up. Pull up the guns when the kid finds a gun and they done shot each other. White kids. Pull it. Why do you think they need the safe storage? Because white kids finding their daddy gun and shooting themselves. Or they're committing suicide. We don't never talk about that, do we? But lo and behold, let's talk about the black people. Whenever y'all want to be fair, I'll be fair. I can be as fair as you want to be. Let's talk about the white people coming out of the red areas, poor, coming downtown Minneapolis and trying to get food. And then, a matter of fact, we was talking about people want to hear. We was talking about people want to hear what they want to hear. Alpha News. Get in touch. Matter of fact, I've got the number. Matter of fact, I still got a voicemail from the guy who it was interviewer or run something like that. Alpha News. I was on Alpha News. I have been on Alpha News. But see, when Alpha News realized I wasn't going to be that token, my voice wasn't important anymore. Because they already got one over. They got a couple over there. I'm going to show you another example. The CRT crap. Remember when that was hot? Remember that? Remember when Garage Logic had this black woman on there? Where is she at now? Where's all this CRT talk now? Not only that, not one time did Garage Logic ask this black woman who was screaming CRT to show you a book, to show you a piece of paper, to show you anything. But because y'all was so into this thing, CRT, they could give you that and you jumped on it. You went bananas. Where is it now? I have not heard one person say school year is in and nobody's talking about CRT. Where? There was a black man running for governor, running around here talking about CRT, scaring white people. That's what they were doing. And it worked. It worked. No, it did. Here in Minnesota. I don't know. It worked in Virginia. I had a friend in Virginia who's like, dude, these people are going bananas. They were going bananas. Where is it? I went. Matter of fact, I've got, when I sat down with the teacher from Anoka, that's a good friend of mine that I go shooting with, and then the teacher from Coon Rapids, who I coach his son's baseball. And when I sat down with them and talked to them about this CRT thing, they laughed in my face. And I told y'all I did that. I told you I did that. I got two teachers to tell me, okay, two different schools, two different districts, I need to hear about this CRT. They looked at me and go, brother, I don't know why you keep believing these people. I said, keep believing me because they keep telling me. But they don't give me no paperwork. They don't give me no books. They don't give me nothing. It's just what they've heard on places like Garage Logic. So I'm going to see if Joe will clean up the situation that happened here. I need Joe Chusseray. I need the Rook and everybody else over there to do their research and find out who benefited from DEI and put it out. Put it out. They won't because they can't. They can't do that. They won't have someone on their show that can tell them the truth, because the people that listen to them don't want the truth. They know it, so they can't tell the truth. But I want. That's what I want. I want the truth on DEI, because Charlie Kirk has pushed it that black women. This is a black woman thing. We need to tell the truth. So when Robin talks about dangerous things in our community, a lie about black people is dangerous, because that lie has gotten black men ropes around their necks and they have been hung from a lie. So we don't do lies anymore. Where is the normal background? Yeah, I know, Jared. The normal background had to go. I am deep in the, well, I had to give up that room. And Andre and the boys are moving back in. I don't know if you know that, if that's a shock to you or not, or if they told you. But I had to give up my room. And they stuck me deep in the dungeon. I'm deep. I'm telling you, I am deep in the dungeon. Deep in the dungeon. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know how long that's going to be there. I just put that up here tonight so you don't see all of the basement. All of the basement. So I don't know how long this is going to be there. So if somebody want to donate me a backdrop, if y'all can donate me a backdrop, or somebody want to buy me a backdrop or something. Because I looked at those I was looking the other night, my wife was going, well, let's just get you a green screen. Boy, I'm like, all right, look. Y'all rich. I keep telling y'all, I ain't rich. Especially now that I am what they call retired. No, I'm not rich. So if y'all don't like my backdrop, then y'all should donate to Rev. Donate to Rev and get him a different backdrop. How's that? Because right now, that's all he can afford. That's all he can afford. Heck, I had to get my dog cut. Where's my dog at? Where's he? He was down here. You should see him. He pretty too. Boy, they did that. If y'all ever need a place to go get your dog cut, even though it's kind of far from somebody, do you want me to come help you? No, Jared, I don't want you to come help me. You know why? Because I've been asking you for, I don't know. Look, my son's sitting there talking about, do you want me to come help? You know how many times I've asked this knucklehead to come over here and try to figure this thing out? Because I don't even really know what to do. He said a green, see, this is what you get when you raise your kid up well, and your kid can fly all over the world because he got money in his pocket. He can buy a $300,000 home. When when he don't think $100 is much to him, to Papa, $100 is much. He said $100. He said a backdrop screen is only $100. I just bought my grandson a $800 motorcycle, but that's my grandson. That's different. I bought him everybody thought I was crazy about that. Anyway, but he loves it. It put a smile on his face. So at the end of the day, that's a win-win for me. But still, that was a lot of money. That hurt me, and I meant for a backdrop, nerd. I know what you're talking about, bonehead. Where's Bettina? Where's she at? That's my daughter-in-law. That's my daughter-in-law. That's my daughter-in-law. They're in Vegas for their second anniversary, second year anniversary. They're in Vegas now. I don't celebrate their anniversary. I celebrate her birthday. They thought I was joking. So we went to see this play. If y'all didn't know, I'm not a play person. My son, he did plays. My daughter-in-law, she does plays and she does all this stuff. Phenomenal. She's phenomenal. Phenomenal. I couldn't ask for a better daughter-in-law. I'm serious when I say that. But anyway, and my wife, she likes play. I'm not really a play person. It's not my thing, right? Not my thing. But I went to see, I don't know if y'all ever see that, Hocus Pocus, right, Jared? So they went to see this Hocus Pocus play. I'm not a bounce up and down, clap type. It was a good play. And that's from somebody, like I said, that's from somebody who, like I said, I'm not into it. I'm really not into a place. But this was a musical thing. It was a musical play. So because it was music and they kept going, and if y'all have not seen this play, you got to go. I'm serious. You got to go see it. It's an awesome, awesome play. I love it. But let me say this here before you look it up and you figure out, oh, my goodness. If I say this wrong, let me know, because they always look at me when I say stuff. These are men dressed up in women's clothes. It's called Hocus Pocus. I think that's what it was, right? I don't know. I didn't give a damn. It was a good play. That's all I know. So if you get a chance to go see it, I don't know how long it's in town. Go see it. Seriously. But anyway, people, hey, that's my time. I am 7 minutes over. Sorry, I went 30 minutes over last time, and I know y'all probably got mad at me. But hey, listen, people. Again, I'm going to say this here. The only way we're going to come together is if we start having conversations. The only way we're going to come together is if we start having conversations. Because then we can get rid of the myth, we can get rid of the lies, and we can get rid of the information that you guys are giving because you won't take the time to actually do research. People can tell you anything they want about black people. Just like this whole thing. Black kids, no black kids. It was funny. It said, I am happy you came with us. Hey, thank you. But they can tell you all day long, well, nope, black kids don't have fathers. That's a bold-faced lie. Are there black kids that don't have fathers in the home? Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of fathers in the home. And I can tell you this here because I coach baseball in Coon Rapids, and all of the white kids that I coached, most of them didn't have a father at the house, but the father lived somewhere else. And they were my baseball coaches. So again, that's why I tell you, you can't pull the wool over my eyes. I had a team with 12 kids. 7 of those kids' fathers were not in the house. So the same thing goes for white kids also. And it's funny to me. So if we're going to, hold on, let's do this here also, before I let you go, before I piss you off some more. Because this isn't what you want to hear. I know that. You're not telling me something that I don't know. It's better for me to get on here and give you the Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum's, Thomas Sowell. That's what you really want to hear, right? You want me to get on here and just thrash the black community because that makes you feel good. And I don't understand why. Because we don't want anything other than what you want. No, I'm telling you, I am a blessed black man. I am blessed. I got 2 boys. I got 3 grandkids. I got a wife that I've been with 37 years. I got a home, not one that I rent. I'm buying this puppy. I got my 2 cars. I got my dog. Did I tell you he got cut today and he looked fabulous? I got 2 cars. They're not fancy. I drive a 2016 Ultima. We're not fancy. And we're not wanting anything that a white person have. I'm not sitting here. I mean, if I wanted a boat, I can go get a boat. My credit is that good. If I wanted a camper and a $70,000 truck, I could go get that. And a lot of other black men that I hang out with and that I know could do the same thing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you at all that there is no problems in the black community. Matter of fact, today I put out a song. And back in the 80s and the 90s, when rap was getting big, there was a song. It's called Self-Destruction. It says, self-destruction. We're heading for a self-destruction. Self-destruction. We're heading for a self-destruction. And what that song was saying was the black community, the kids, the men in that black community were about to become what Hillary Clinton called us, predators. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like that we don't have any predators in the black community. There's some black kids right now that needs to be locked up. Let me make sure y'all understood what I just said. And I don't give a flying hell if you get mad at me or not. I don't care. But I can show them to you. He said, if you wanted a green sea back, you could go. If you wanted a green, I don't have $100. How am I going to go get a green screen when I don't have $100? Anyway, that's my son again. But yeah, there are. It's just like there's some white kids that will walk into a school and shoot up. Correct? The shooter that shot up the law enforcement. There was a white guy that shot 5 and 3 died. We don't talk about that. The white man that shot the law enforcement people, 3 died. Then there was another shooting. And then, see, it's funny how your shooters, the snipers and the people who kill people who look like you, they're mentally ill. No, they're not. They're white. They're white people. Correct? Just like you say, the 13% are black. You don't cut that 13% and say, no, you label us all. The black kids don't have fathers. You label us all. I'm a black father. My boys is, well, except for one right now, but I've been in my kid's life. All my friends, every single one of my friends have been in their children's life. Their kids moved out of their house. Everyone. So when you sit there and you say that type of stuff about black men, I got to call you a liar. I got to say to you, you're lying and you don't know because you don't take time to do what I do. I walked in a room with 20, 21, 22 white people today and had a conversation. When the last time you did that with black people? But yet you know us that well. You don't know shit. And this is what I do. I call them out. Just like Joe Chusseray and Garage Logic. And they helped me get where I'm at today. They did. But I'm not going to sit here and let them do what I know what they're doing. And what I was going to say earlier is that's one of the reasons why you don't see me on their show anymore. because I push back. And I read some of the things that people say about me. And I know that gave them the thought in their head, oh, we're messing up our followers. We're messing up our flow. If we bring him on and he starts telling the truth, and he's not going along with the program, he's not that Candace Owens we was looking for, that Brandon Tatum that we was looking for, that Thomas Sowell we was looking for. If he's not someone that can come on the show, what John Justice does to black men. I was even on John Justice's show. The reason John won't have me on his show, because I won't be a Walter Hudson and I won't be a A.K. Kamara. See, John Justice likes to talk about the black community, but then he needs people to verify what he says. But the people who verifies what he says don't have nothing to do with the black community, and the black community don't have nothing to do with them. So they can't fact check what John Justice says about the black community. So y'all believe what they say. And them two ain't been in the black community. They ain't talked to nobody in the black community. The black community don't like them, don't give them the time of day. But yet they can go on a radio show and then talk about the black community. You can't. So if you come hang out with me, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to give you facts. I'm going to give you the truth. And if you can't handle that, Garage Logic is right over there. John Justice is right over there. That's your cup of tea. That's your cup of tea. Alpha News is right over there. Like I told you, I was on Alpha News. I'm just not Alpha News type of Negro. I'm going to tell you the truth about things. I'm going to push back on what I know. And y'all ain't never seen me on Alpha News again. Because basically I said, especially when they was running around here with the two black people running around here with the lie of CRT, I pushed back on it. They was giving you what you wanted, and y'all was happy about that. Not that you was going to do any research, you was going to check on it, you was going to go talk to black people about it, or nothing. But the bottom line that I'm getting at tonight, and what I want to get to tonight, I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody. I love to talk about things. I love to show people new things. And I learn, even today, I learn something new from those women that I talked to today. And I enjoyed them. I had a awesome good time with them. And just like they say, you got to come back. I'll be more than happy to come back. I'll be more than happy to come back and sit down with you. But we got to be willing to have these conversations, people. And we got to be willing to have the conversation with an open mind. Like the dude from Garage Logic that I just told you about, who basically told me, oh, I will believe what he said about the black women, but I'm not going to believe what they say about white women. That's what he said. We can't do that, man. But I want you to look it up for yourself. No, seriously, if you haven't done it, and if you just got on here and you're wondering what I'm talking about, and I'm going to be off here, give me a couple seconds. What I'm talking about is I want you to look up DEI. And I want you to look up and find out who mainly benefited from DEI. I want to know if it was black women. If I'm wrong, I will come on here and tell you I'm wrong. Nope, black women has benefited from it. Everybody's right. But you know what? I have not found where I'm wrong. White women did. But yet, you let Joe Chusseray, Garage Logic, Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, and everybody else tell you it's black women. And it's not. It's not. But they tell you that because it scares you. They tell you that because that's what you want to hear. They tell you that because you want to be against anything. real quick. So one of the things I've been telling black people is stay out of this Charlie Kirk thing. We got nothing to do with it because they have been trying. Those kids went to that black school to start trouble. Like he said, a race. This is what the dude called it. His words, not my words. He said they were in a race riot. That's a lie. That is so far from the truth. A race, that's what he said. That's what the white kid said. I was in a race riot. That word, those words together is trouble. Joe, that's what Robin is meaning when she says danger. This dude went to a black college, was chased off of the college because he had no business being there because he didn't want anything. And the words he used is race riot. That's why Robin didn't want him there. That's why Robin didn't want them up there. Because they lie and then they turn around and try to start trouble. Because every time there's been a race riot, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Every time there's been a race riot, Florida, Louisiana, North Carolina. I can keep going. And the bad part about it, every single one, Lake Lanier, Georgia. We've been on the bad end of that stick. Right here in the state of Minnesota, up in Duluth. What happened to the black man that the woman lied on, the white woman lied on? This is history. This is what we're talking about. We're talking history. And we're not trying to let history repeat itself. So we have to start having conversations. And if y'all don't want to have conversations, leave us alone. Don't talk about us. Don't bring up stats and all this here type of stuff. Leave us the hell alone. It's that simple. We won't bother you. You don't bother us. We won't say bad things about you. You don't say bad things about us. You worry about your kid. You worry about the drug addiction. You worry about the pedophilia. You worry about oh, that's another thing I looked up. Spousal abuse. Y'all want to talk about it? We can have that conversation. I think y'all know where I'm going with that. We can have So if y'all want to start having conversations, I'll be more than happy to have them. Because I got a whole bag over here that I can play with you with. So you want to tell me about black men not being fathers? I'll tell you about black men beating on their wives. White men. I'll tell you about white men beating on their wives. We can go there. That's why they don't mess with me. That's why they don't mess with me. Because I've done my homework. Trust me when I say that. Look, when I left the Tea Party after they got seriously racist, and what I mean by seriously racist is when they was taking ropes and putting it around Barack Obama's neck. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't sit there and act like. And then when they start saying certain things around me, like I'm supposed to be cool with it, that's when I start going, there's something wrong with these people. And I literally start researching. No, I did. I did. So, as much garbage you want to pull out and say this here about black people, I got a bag. That's not what I want to do. That's not what we should do. If you go to Jonah and you read Jonah 2 and 10, and in Jonah 2 and 10, it basically tells us why Jonah went to Nineveh, right? He said, I am going to need you to go down there and talk to those people. Jonah, come here. This is God talking to Jonah, right? I'm not God. I don't want. But if I was, this is what God would be saying to Jonah. Come here for a second. I need you to do me a favor. He said, the people down there in that town that's right below us, they real bad. They are doing some really, really bad stuff. And the stuff they're doing, he said, I'm not happy with it. He said, now what I want you to do for me, Jonah, he said, I'm going to need you to go down there. And he said, and when you go down there, I'm going to need you to tell them some stuff. He said, I'm going to need you to let them know that they screwing up. They screwing up in my eyes. They say he's screwing up in my heart. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I want to make sure. I want to make sure. I don't know why I keep doing that. That is unbelievable. It's 3 times I've done that because I'm being. But what I'm saying is, God gave Jonah something to do. So I'm going to need you to go down there, and I'm going to need you to tell them people that they screwing up and they need to do better. Right? So Jonah goes down there and he tells the people. He said, yo, God said, y'all screwing up and y'all need to do better. Or he's just going to do away with this place. God should be saying that now. But you know, the awesome thing about those people that was down there, those people turned their lives around. They started doing things different. They started acting different. They started talking different. They started treating each other different. They started being friendly to each other. They started being each other's brother's keeper. They started loving on each other. They started caring about each other. And because of that, Jonah 2:10 says this, and God saw their works, that they turned from their evil ways, and God repented of the evil. And God saw their works. God saw what they were doing. God saw the people that they turned into, that they went from being ugly and nasty and evil to each other to a people that was loving and caring and had compassion for one another. That's what the Bible said. Then he said they turned away from their evil. These were some evil people. They were shooting, killing, murdering, raping, assaulting. Some of everything was going on down there. But when they heed the call of God and said, enough is enough. Y'all, we got to do better than this here. He's given us everything we need. The Bible tells us we don't need to want for nothing. God has everything we need right there for us. I'm just telling you. But these people saw that and said, let's stop it. Stop killing each other. Stop hurting each other. Stop being a pain in everybody's ass. And when they turned from their wicked ways, and they repented for what they was doing, God said, I'll keep my hands off of you now. But in his head, he was thinking, I'm going to go, because got to remember now, Jonah was scared to go down there. Jonah, when God first asked Jonah, Jonah's like, dude, Jonah's like, but I go down there and they got people's head on staffs alongside of the road. God, you can't be asked. That's what Jonah said. That's how bad these people were. It was killing people, beheading them, and putting their head like lampposts all the way down the road. That's these people, the very people God said that said that they turned from their evil ways and God forgave them for what they've done. See, as long as we keep doing what we're doing, as long as you keep going to your favorite podcast and that favorite podcast keeps lying to you, as long as you keep thinking how the bad things about people that you ain't even talked to, you ain't even heard from, you haven't even become friends with, you haven't dealt with in any way, shape, or form because it makes you feel good. As long as you don't do what the Bible says to help the poor and help the oppressed, the very book that you say that you read, the very God that you say that you follow has given you instructions and you don't do what those instructions asked of you. Jonah went into the well for 3 days and 3 nights. Why? Because he didn't do what God told him to do. Until we get to the point where we can have these conversations to try to clear up some of this here stuff. Like I said before, if you're going to talk about the black community, if you're going to put me down and the people who look like me down, then why don't you step up to the plate and say, Rev, I heard. I didn't see it because I'm afraid to go ask. I'm afraid to go deal with those people. I'm afraid to deal. But here's $20. I know you're down there trying to get Pampers, trying to get formula, trying to get food, trying to put people up in hotels. I know that's what you're doing. Here's $20, Red. I want to help you out. I want to do something for you. I want to help you. I want to help you better things. I know you go down on Sundays and you pray with the homeless and you give them a 15, 20-minute sermon. While you're down there, Rev, dealing with the homeless, I'm going to give you $20. Maybe pick up breakfast on the way to the homeless camp for these people. See, I don't have people with compassion like that. I don't have people that actually does what God says to take care of the poor and take care of the oppressed, take care of the homeless, take care of the least of them. That's what the Bible says. I haven't had a few of those people except for Spike. My boy Spike gave me, man, and I'm out of water. Spike, the dude Spike that y'all see me on and talking about, that young man, that one. Every time I turn around. Love you too, kid. Every time I turn around. He's asking, Rev, what do you need? What do you need? All right, we'll see you later. You guys have an awesome time, and we'll see you guys when you get back. And I wasn't joking. I'm not celebrating your anniversary, but we have to celebrate my daughter-in-law. Y'all thought I was joking in the car. I was not joking. I'm dead serious. But anyway, so if you want to really, really do something, help me. Help me. If if black community is something you need to talk about, if that's what you need in your life to make you feel good, to pump you up, help me out then. Because see, another thing that cracks me up that you don't get from your Garage Logic, you don't get from your Alpha News, you don't get from your John Justice, they don't never tell you about the poor white people. I've never heard any of them that I named you talk to you about the poor white people that Rev help. Talk to you about, matter of fact, I'm working right as we speak. I told y'all about the white girl from Becker, who is pregnant, that I just found, that's got a boyfriend that treats her. I told y'all about that. I ain't heard nobody reach out to me. They ain't been nobody who DM me and say, Rev, what does she need? Not one of you ain't said word one about her. How can we help you with her? White girl. See, you don't hear those things because that's not what you want to hear. That's not what you want to hear. You want to hear that everything's good in the white community, but let's talk about them bastard Negroes. And here I am dealing with a white girl who's about to have a baby in January that's dealing with her boyfriend who beats on her. So why don't y'all help me with her? No, serious. I'm asking for help. I'm asking to make sure that I can give her enough money that if we can get her away from him, that we can put her in a place. And hold on. You say, well, why can't she has been home. Her mother, and I talked to the grandmother. I told you this. I talked to the grandmother. The mother and the father of this girl cannot afford her anymore. They cannot do it anymore. So the grandmother reached out to me to help her. So why don't y'all help me with her? Y'all don't hear about those things because Joe Shushre don't talk about them people. You don't hear about the white kids that are down there in North Minneapolis that get the crumbs that falls off the table from everybody else because they don't talk about them people because you don't want to hear about your own. You don't want to hear about your own? Half the people down there in those homeless shelters come from the red districts. That's why when I was talking to the mayor, I told the mayor, why don't you find out where these people are from and send them back? Because they know they can't put up, you can't put up a tent. You can't put up a tent in St. Michael, can you? What would happen if they found the woods in St. Michael? There's a lot of woods out there. Let's think about this for a second. Help me out. If the homeless people found some woods in St. Michael's and put up like they did back in the old days, in what the Renaissance days where they can just pitch a tent anywhere, what would happen if a group of white people would put up a tent, homeless, in St. Michael? Help me out. What would happen? What would happen if they put one up in Elk River in Eric Losario's district? What would happen if they put one up in Maple Grove? But because they can't put tents up there, they go where? Downtown. So on my mornings when I'm going out to pray with them and preach them a sermon, why don't y'all give me enough money so I can go by McDonald's and get them something to eat? Because half the people in those camps are white people, not from Minneapolis. But John Justice won't tell you that because that's not what you want to hear. Liz Collins is not going to tell you that in Alpha News because that's not what you want to hear. Those are facts, people. I'm not just telling you just to tell you that. That's a fact. Because if they really wanted to hear that stuff and they thought you would want to hear that stuff, I would be on Alpha News all the time. I would get a segment. I would be on Garage Logic. Correct? If they thought you wanted the truth, think about it before you. I know people. Hey, every time I say something, people get all upset. They get mad. But think about what I just said, and then you're gonna sit there and go, "Damn it, he pisses me off, but he is right." I know I'm right. Anyway, fam, if we all come together, we can do what God has asked us and told us to do here. And if we come together, we can heal this land, and we can heal this nation. Again, if you go to Jonah 3:10, and God saw their work, God saw our work, and what did he do after we came together, after we stopped fighting, after we start calling each other names, after we start going after each other, after we wanting hate and breathing fire out of each other's mouth and nose. After we're done with all of that, after we sat down there and said, brother, I am here for you. Sister, I am here for you. I don't care what color you are. After we done all that, after we said we forgive each other, after we said we will walk with each other, after we said we would help each other, we would be our brother's keeper. After all that we've said, what did he do? The Bible said, he saw that they turned from their evil ways and repented of the evil. And God repented them of their evil. That's what happened. Until that happens here in the state, in these states of the United States, until we do what God is asking us to do, this is what's going to be happening. People are going to be dying to get to their podcast tomorrow so they can go off, because they need to hear black people don't have fathers. They need to hear black women and DEIs. We're going to end the night like we always end the night, realizing and recognizing that we serve an honest, unbelievable, awesome God, a God that no matter what you do, how you do it, when you do it, God's going to turn you around. He don't care how dirty you get. He don't care when you get dirty. He don't care what fourth you get dirty. He don't care if you stab somebody or if somebody stabbed you. But as long as you come to God and you give your mind, heart, spirit, and soul to him, God's going to do what? Save you from yourself a lot of times at the end of the day. And just for that alone, we should be smiling. And y'all know what we do with those smiles. We go out and we smile at somebody, so somebody smile back at you. Anyway, fam, y'all have a good one. Like I said, I'm in my new digs. I got to get used to it. I'm just not so used to being, I'm not claustrophobic, but man, they really put me in a, yeah. It's what I get. It is what it is, man. I just got to be happy. Heck, I'm alive. I got up this morning, and it's all good. Y'all have a good one, fam. We'll see you on Friday. Peace. I'm out.